First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Up Next. You found us at postwrestling.com, whatever podcast app you choose to use on the Post Wrestling Podcast
Universe
Network. And
yes,
of course, it's Tuesday, 10:05 p.m., which means
we are live on youtube.com/postwrestling. Hello, YouTube room. How are we doing?
Hello, YouTube room. Hello, everybody out there. Hello, NXT friends. Worldwide. We are here today to talk about some NXT on the road to a heat wave. Maybe it's a heat wave wherever you may be. It's been a heat wave in Toronto. Today, not so much, but you know, the heat wave, I prefer it over snow. So we're going to celebrate heat waves. Maybe you will be watching heat wave this Sunday. We will be. We're not sure what state we'll be in, but we will be watching heat wave and we will be going live right after, right here at Post Wrestling with the Heatwave post show. Tune in to see just how messy we're going to be.
I'm terrified. I am absolutely. I struggled today, like watching
just
NXT today. Well, just I work on Tuesdays during the day, and I was struggling through the show today, and then I'm just thinking, fuck, gotta host an event through probably like a 9-hour AEW pay-per-view. A couple of cold ones, and then watch NXT Heatwave and then talk about it. So lots of Red Bull, I think, lots of coffee. Hopefully manage to fit in a little nap before the show. That would be lovely. But yeah, I'm kind of nervous. I'm a little nervous.
We'll be fine. What's the worst that could happen? It's the worst that could happen. We're going to be watching Forbidden Door. If you're in the Toronto area, join us. Poisonrana.ca. We're throwing a little watch party at Wide Open on Spadina, downtown Toronto. Sunday, doors at noon because the show Eastern time starts at 1 p.m. That Forbidden Door will open. And we're going to watch the craziness that is of Golden Lovers, Tanahashi, Ospreay, and Darby, all as a unit. We did a whole preview for Forbidden Door I'll get into in a little bit, but very excited about this show. Very excited to watch with not only some of our friends, some listeners, and some people in the city of Toronto. We have a great little Poisonrana community in our city, in the 6, and the Frogs will be out. And I've heard you've finished the Forbidden Pour cocktail menu.
I'm close. I'm very close.
Okay.
I need to try and finish that tomorrow, whilst also watching a whole lot of John Cena. But yes, very close. I'm trying to. There's one I'm just like still trying to perfect a little bit.
Okay.
But
what do we have so far? We got the High Fly Flow Espresso Martini.
We've got the High Fly Espresso. Yes. We have the Proto Star making a debut on the menu.
Pink, right?
Yeah, a nice pink shot.
Okay.
And I'm trying to figure out an FTR shot because we've got Fernet. So I was playing about with like Fernet triple second rye as like an FTR. Right. Thing is, the Fernet is very overpowering. So I don't know. I'm working on that one, or I might need to go back to the drawing board. But we've got some of the classics as well. The Poisonrana, which obviously is all of our,
of course,
all of our events. So
absolutely,
yeah.
Looking forward to this. Again, if you're in Toronto and you want to watch the show, we're going to be hanging out, watching Forbidden Door. But then, as we said, we're going to be then, hopefully there's no crossover. And I know with the O2 and time zones and everything, we will definitely try to rush home to watch our Heatwave and then go live. So yes, it's definitely going to be a long Sunday with all the wrestling, but that's okay. We're going to have fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, and hope to see some people there. I know a few listening are definitely looking forward to coming. So appreciate that. Hey, while on the topic of Toronto, we also love to support our Toronto wrestling. This Thursday, you can catch us at Demand Lucha, because we always like to lucha party, and no one does it better. Maybe you're still hot off the trails of Triple Mania from AAA WWE this past weekend. Well, we always have fun at Demand Lucha, and this Thursday they're doing a lucha vacation. And Davie, Gringo Loco versus Tim.
Yeah, Tim. We haven't seen him since his. He really took Demand Lucha by storm a few shows back. Where what is it? The Infinite Man, I think it stands for.
Some people are like, who's Tim? Who is Tim? And some people maybe in the indies scene or love the indies know who he is. He was definitely someone who showed up and impressed us. So I mean, Gringo always shows up. So this match alone, Joey Janela versus Arez for the Lucha Championship there. Kevin Blackwood, Stallion Kid, and then a Lucha Rumble featuring surprise guests and a bunch of Lucha.
Is that LOD on the poster? What's going on?
LOD? No, LOD is. They're not.
Who are they at the bottom there?
Warlord and Barbarian. Isn't it the Powers of Pain?
Oh, okay.
And Jimmy Hart also is going to be there as well.
Jimmy
and many other matches. Yeah, wow. A crazy show. Parkdale in Toronto. Demand Lucha on all the socials. We just love these guys, and honestly, like, they're so much fun, and they're our favorite to go to and have some White Claws and cheer for some lucha. So we'll definitely be there. And if you see us, please say hello. We love to say hi to y'all.
I just want to quickly go back to the chat for Forbidden Pour for our Forbidden Door watch party. Bonnie in the chat's going to see Oasis later that night. But Forbidden Door does start at 1 p.m. So you have plenty of time to come, and you might need to leave before the main event, but you can certainly hang with us for a few hours and getting your pre-drink on, because I assure you the drinks at Wide Open are going to be significantly cheaper and better than the ones at Rogers Stadium.
Yes, absolutely. I know our friend WH Park from Post Wrestling. He said he can't come Sunday because he's going to Oasis as well. So I know he's really bummed though that he's going to miss. He's
going to have a great time. I absolutely love the show at Wembley. So there'll be plenty more wrestling in the future. Just remember, it's Rogers Stadium, not Rogers Center. I had another couple come into work today saying they're off to see Chris Brown tomorrow. They came from Kentucky, and I was like, and they're like, and it's great. We got a condo like right opposite the Rogers Center, just around the corner. And I was like, just FYI, you'll be taking the train about an hour away for the show tomorrow. And they're like, what? So Rogers Stadium.
But they're going to Chris Brown. I don't feel as bad for them.
No.
I wonder if they're doing the like $1,000 meet and greet photo thing that everyone seems to do with Chris Brown. Yeah, I bet they are. Well, concerts everywhere this summer. There's lots of fun stuff. So I hope you're enjoying your summer wherever you may be. The wrestling never stops. Like this weekend's a heavy wrestling weekend. I feel like every week is just a heavy wrestling week. If you're insane like us and try to watch there's stuff we don't even watch. So we're not even the craziest of crazy. There's real sickos out there. Like me and you are not going to come on this show and pretend like we watched Emergence. We won't, but we'll talk about some of the outcomes because clearly some people are still championing and so forth. But there's so much wrestling and so much going on, especially in the city. Concerts, C&Es is happening. So enjoy the summer while you can. I'm definitely living it up while you can. It's nice and hot. I got that underwear. It's working.
The man-made.
My balls are fine. My balls are great. I see someone in the chat talking about sweating balls off. Man, you got to get the right underwear.
Did they write you a nice little personal note to go with the underwear?
They did. They did. Yeah.
How nice is that?
Yeah. Honestly,
we shouldn't say their name actually because they're not paying us. So
not yet. I'll DM them and be like, hey, we tried your underwear. They actually really work. So can I have some more? Because they're really good. Protect your balls in the hot weather, people.
Yes.
All right. It's hot out there. So we have some events in Toronto, like we mentioned. We have tons of shows. If you are hyped for Forbidden Door, we are also known as Poisonrana, and you can follow us in whatever podcast app or YouTube and social media and all that stuff. So give Poisonrana Pod a follow. Just on Sunday, you and I went live and we did a huge preview for AEW New Japan Forbidden Door. We went into preview predictions, all that fun stuff, talking about Golden Lovers, Young Bucks, Tanahashi, Darby, Will Ospreay. That match is going to be crazy. Still can't get over that. And everything else that's happening. This pay-per-view looks absolutely stacked. Very excited to watch this. So we did a huge review of that. We also talked about Tanahashi, his involvement in this, and how Jon Moxley was shocked as us being told he's going to be in it. We also talked about New Japan, the G1, Takeshita, Evil, the finals, and what that may be leading to with Wrestle Kingdom and so much more, plus everything from WWE, which wasn't a whole lot, actually. We did talk about WWE Unreal as well. We went through all those episodes, and then we talked about Dynamite and everything else in wrestling. So a free show every Sunday, Poisonrana Pod. We dropped just on Sunday, YouTube or your podcast app. Give us a follow, and if you like more, we have a patreon.com/Poisonrana. We love wrestling, movies, all that fun stuff, comic book stuff. We just reviewed the 2005 edition of Fantastic Four. Chris Evans, the Human Torch. I almost called him the Human Flame. Flame on, the Human Flame, plus the Thing. Michael Chiklis. What a gem Michael Chiklis is. Can we bring? Let's have a. I always wanted the Brendan Fraser Renaissance. I was aboard that way before The Whale. And now he's got it. But I want a Michael Chiklis Renaissance, all right? Screw whoever this guy, I still can't remember his name is, who plays Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, in this movie. I still can't remember who he is. But Jessica Alba's also just in this movie. A great review from us on our Patreon, plus a retro NXT review where we look back in June 2014, the fallout from the takeover event, Tyson Kidd and Adrian Neville still beefing, and the Tyler Breeze music video. Yes. Lots of stuff on our Patreon, and a huge show tomorrow, Davie. We're recording the next episode of The Champ Is Here.
Oh, yes. We're going to be joined by Kevin Hudson from the Geek Centric podcast, check out those guys. They have a fantastic YouTube channel and podcast where they talk all things geek, video games, Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, the lot. And he's a big wrestling fan. He's going to be joining us to talk episode 11 of The Champ Is Here. This is the 11th world title reign of John Cena. A dubious title reign, this one. A controversial title reign, as where we left things at the end of episode 10, CM Punk had beaten John Cena in the main event of Money in the Bank 2011 as his contract runs out, and he walks out with the title. So this means we need to crown a new champion, but contracts get signed and CM Punk returns, setting up champion versus champion with Triple H as the special guest referee at SummerSlam. John Cena, CM Punk. This is going to be one of the shorter title reigns for John Cena here that we'll be talking about. Looking forward to dive into it and talk about all the wrong moves that come as well after this, aka Rey Mysterio, aka Alberto Del Rio, aka Kevin Nash. Very much looking forward to chatting about this.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the shortest reign, but everyone remembers John Cena stealing the title from Rey Mysterio, essentially. It's super funny. I'm about halfway through watching this back, but we'll also, like, the Champ Is Here has been a great show and a great companion piece for this Last Time Is Now tour that John Cena is doing. So again, we have uploaded some episodes in our back catalog there for free, but we've been doing this, going through each title win and reign. And then we follow along John Cena and everything, but then we go towards like what else is going on. And today, here I am watching when Vince is threatening to fire Cena since he lost to Punk at Money in the Bank. And Cena's like, yeah, well, I'll go somewhere else on someone else's show, brother. It's like, oh boy. And then Triple H comes out and he's like, Vince, you're relieved of your duties, but I love you, Pops. Remember that? Yeah, we're going to talk.
A tear rolling down the cheek.
Oh my God. I was howling today laughing my ass off. So we're going to talk all about the 11th reign and run of John Cena in his WWE title from 2011. This show is going to be a lot of fun. Also, our boy Kevin, we're going to have some laughs and talk about John Cena.
You do realize we have 4 months left to go through
all the other ones.
6 more episodes.
Oh boy.
Potentially, I feel like the whole Rock Cena thing we decided to do as a separate episode as well, and maybe a championship one. So expect a lot of Cena in the upcoming months on the Patreon. Yeah,
I feel like since doing podcasts and now living with my girlfriend, the past few months, she's like, "Man, you watch a lot of John Cena. Are you like really obsessed with this guy?" I'm like, "I guess so."
Well, it's okay. Come January, we will never talk about him ever again. There's nothing left to talk about come January.
After the show concludes, it then involves going through all of his movies.
Sure.
Until we get to Ricky Stanicki.
We'll just rename our podcast Code Red instead of Poisonrana. That's his.
What's Code Red?
Well, that's his flashiest move. His Arsenal, isn't it?
Oh, the Springboard Stunner, obviously.
Springboard Stunner, yeah. What was his like? You know, after he filmed that thing with Jackie Chan, he started doing like a heart punch thing.
Oh man, you know how much I love Jackie Chan. I tried watching the trailer for the John Cena Jackie Chan movie and I couldn't finish it. So it hurts I don't know if I could put that movie on, but maybe one day. But yeah, shout out John Cena. Shout out wrestlers turned actors. Never forget. But yeah, what will we do after the champ is here? It might have to be extended because how the hell are we going to watch all that in 4 months? Like we'll go on after he's retired, you know? Be fine.
We'll try our best. We'll see how we do. There are a couple of hiccups along the way, but yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah. Patreon.com/Poisonrana. If you've never given us a shot, it's $5, a whole month's access, hundreds of different movie reviews, retro wrestling, pay-per-view reviews, so much more. WCW, ECW, so much in the catalog there. Endless hours of entertainment. So appreciate it. Go check us out. And like we said, Heatwave this Sunday and Forbidden Door. We'll probably start the show, give some thoughts on everything going on from this weekend of all the wrestling. But obviously, stay tuned to postwrestling.com for all the updates. I know John and Wade doing their Forbidden Door show, plus everything on the website and all the other pods and updates. And shout out the Post Wrestling team, the squad, the postmarks out there that keep us going. We can't do it without you, wherever you are, worldwide. Appreciate. But before we jump into some NXT, maybe we can talk a little bit about what else is going on in the world of wrestling in one day, Davie. Some things have changed.
Yes.
Like on Monday Night Raw with
the Women's Championship.
The Women's Championship.
Yeah.
That's right. It is once again vacated due to pregnancy.
Yes.
Right? First, Becky Lynch did it, being the first woman to vacate a wrestling title due to being pregnant. And now it has happened again with Naomi, which means, I mean, she said it. I watched her promo today. The bloodline continues. The WrestleMania of like 80 is going to be fucking nuts. It's going to still be these goddamn Usos and Rikishi's great grandsons and all this shit. Oh my God. Cody Rhodes pulling his hair out as we speak.
All respect to Big Jim and Naomi, but I don't think it was ever in doubt that the bloodline would continue. Like Jacob Fatu himself has a whole roster
football team, yeah, exactly,
of little bloodline members. But did you watch the segment with Naomi?
Yes. Yeah. I thought it was a great promo. You know, it's almost like we kind of talked about it last week where we saw some people talking about it. We didn't want to necessarily report anything because we didn't know. And of course, now it's definitely come out and she said this, but she's finally become champion, like the best run, the best stuff of her career, and then has to stop because she's pregnant. But in some interviews and stuff, she said it kind of sounded like they had been trying in the past and nothing had happened. So then they kind of moved on. And then I guess they were celebrating her title reign a little too hard. And then, there comes another Uso. So
well, technically this baby should already have a cage match page because did compete in the triple threat match at SummerSlam.
It's a 4-way. Yeah. I mean, Io has a history of stomping on pregnant wrestlers in matches. Like she didn't Becky still wrestle at one point when
I think now. Well, yeah, Becky found out, right? I mean, you know, I guess they had wrestled very early in the pregnancy before finding out. But yeah, I thought it's a weird promo, right? Because she's coming out as this heel character and she's trying to, like, you see her getting emotional. You see her like getting choked up and crying, but then very like, yeah, but I'm going to play my character as well. It was pretty fun, I thought. And she's just going to come back bigger than she's ever been.
I think so. Yeah.
And which is, it's great. Like Naomi's always been someone that everyone's liked, but I think for such a long time, there was just something missing, something that didn't completely connect with the audience. And I think this whole new character, the Proceed with Caution stuff, has really connected. And then I think the, absence makes the heart grow fonder. I think she's going to come back as a megastar when she returns.
No, I thought it was great. Like weaving the lines of, she's trying to remain in her character, but she's excited and has to, vacate the title and everything. But I thought it was pretty good. I thought she had, it was her best like what a promo. Again, only the second time this has happened in the history of like wrestling where they're like, oh, at least WWE, where it's like, oh, look, like I'm pregnant, I got to vacate the title. And she did it in her own way. She's like, yeah, I finally made it to the top. But you know what? I just like when I get dicked down by Big Jim. So y'all, I'm out. I'm going having a baby.
I was just going to say, and then laying the title down on the very
Slim Jim
that made her vacate it. The Big Jim in the middle of the ring.
She snapped into it. And WrestleMania 80 is like the ultimate bloodline showdown of their kid. I'm sure there'll be a Dominic Jr. at this point, but like the way the wrestling world goes is we love like the Nepo babies in wrestling it's been a thing for a while, but wow, it's going to be even crazier in like 20 years when all these kids grow up. So congrats to the Usos and Naomi. I mean, that's good. These people are in our screens our homes every week, and like even going back to Total Divas with Naomi and Jim and stuff. So I'm happy for them. I'm good for them. But she has been on a crazy run, and it's funny that she's like, there's already a lot of these bloodline, but Rikishi was probably on his podcast. Yeah, well, he should have had 2 babies. He should have.
No, did you hear what?
No, did he actually say something?
It could have been a parody account,
okay.
So I'm not gonna. But Rikishi's someone that I'm not sure. You see some things and you're like, I think it was possibly a parody account. I'm not entirely sure, but
sure, okay. Still, good stuff from that. That was all I watched from Raw, but I think I picked the right segment because it was great. She has been on a good run. I really loved the SummerSlam triple threat as well. So. Hey, leave while you're hot, come back, you'll be even hotter than before, possibly. So good for them. Anything else from Raw or anything else tickling your fancy? Clash in Paris in a few weeks. We got Roman and Bronson announced, the tribal thief, what did he call them? The Shunami?
The Shulafala.
Right. I did see something else from Raw. The monologue from Paul Heyman, the ECW tribute in Philly, talking about Tommy Dreamer.
Yes. Well, Corey referenced it tonight as well, didn't he?
So obviously maybe they're still not talking. Maybe they're still not friends anymore.
I mean, to be fair, Tommy Dreamer did say he considered murdering him at WrestleMania 17.
Some things you keep to yourself, Tommy.
Yeah.
We love you, Tommy. But why did that story ever even come out? Like he Liam Neeson'd himself even before that was a thing. But like,
you don't need to say everything. Right?
Yeah. We love you, Tommy. But like that was very questionable. So Paul Heyman has every, Paul Heyman's Paul Heyman, but he has every right to. I'd just be worried that Tommy's like, oh yeah, all right, bet, take 2, try this again. Jeez. I thought that was like I didn't expect, like I feel like Paul Heyman, I could be wrong, he hasn't necessarily made too many jabs at that like thing, that whole thing about Dreamer and the gun and everything, but damn.
Yeah, overall, I am kind of detached from WWE right now. Like I'm watching all the shows, but there's very little that's engaging me with their shows right now. Like they usually deliver. I thought SummerSlam Night 2 was pretty great, but the TV is definitely suffering at the moment. A couple of things were interesting. Like I thought this whatever character they're trying with Bayley, I'm intrigued with, because Bayley hasn't been connecting really since she won the title in Philly at WrestleMania. So I like that they're maybe playing with a sort of is it a split personality they're going to go to or whatever? Like it had the references to the ding dong, but then right at the end of her promo was like, sounds like someone needs a hug, things like that. So it's more interesting than what she's done for the last year. So that's something. Continuing the dissension between Io and Asuka and Kairi, if that leads to any iteration of those matches, that's interesting to me. But yeah, apart from that, I really can't say there was a whole lot that really took my interest on Raw this week, and it's unfortunately been like that for a few weeks now.
Yeah, like for all the times I was like, oh, when Seth and Paul Heyman link up, if that's the case, like that should be a really solid thing. And then you add Braun, and then hey, even Bronson, and like hey, to their extent, there's some that SummerSlam match was all right, and the shoe stealing and whatever is cool, but I don't know, the Seth thing doesn't feel like it's as big. It still feels like just how it feels like the ceiling Seth was at before.
Yeah,
there's just something about it that's not maybe clicking, or something missing, or something that they need to do that makes it feel, I don't know, bigger, effective, because it just feels like they're going through the motions. Okay, Seth has, before he had J&J Security, now he's just got these two guys, and it's just he hasn't necessarily evolved too much. But I don't know, like I'm still it's eventually the end game of this title run is the CM Punk match, which we've seen multiple times already in different variations, but we have to go back to that.
This character he's playing right now is no different from the one he was doing during the pandemic. When he had who was his people there? He had like Austin Theory with him, and Buddy Murphy and all that.
Like he's the other cowboy.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. That's when he started wearing the ridiculous stuff as the visionary or whatever it is, and it feels like he's gone back. Whereas he took that role and then made it a babyface. I think a lot of that should have been stripped away when he got into this role. And the fact he's still coming out in the ridiculous outfits, which I know is his thing, but I just think, every time your character changes, you should reinvent yourself somehow. And I really feel he's just gone back to where he was 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's just kind of boring. I don't know. I wanted something juicier, and it's not necessarily clicking. And maybe he needs maybe the Punk thing has already like run its course, but then who else would you have him beef with? We've already seen Cody. I don't know where else you would potentially go. And then do you eventually break it with Braun Seth, like as a match, I guess? Or
I think we're building to a Roman Seth singles match. I think is the big thing they're going to. I imagine maybe these are some of the War Games teams. It's going to be the Vision, whether they team up with some other people against Roman, Punk, LA Knight, that lot. But
right.
Yeah, it just feels quite dragged out. But yeah, we'll see. Like we're going to the UK and Europe next week, which hopefully the Europeans can teach some new songs for these crowds to sing, because I'm sick to fucking death of Daddy Cool now. It's time it's time to teach the North Americans a few more songs, I think, for these shows.
What songs do you think they're gonna to try to get over now? Like it's that one ever since we had that like a year ago. But then also the classic is the like Olay, obviously, but what's the other one, like Zombie Nation? Yeah, Seven Nation Army, Zombie Nation thing. Like it's usually that. But what is there other ones popular in footy that haven't?
Oh, there's so many. So
many. Like maybe they'll do other ones.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll hear some at Forbidden Door as well in London. Like this whole week, like Glasgow on Wednesday with Dynamite and then London with the O2. So like, yeah, we're gonna hear some rowdy rowdy crowds.
Rowdy crowds.
Yeah, wait. Maybe just the Americans, like I say we because we're pretty lucky here. We get wrestling events like once, twice a year, whereas like over there, you don't get the big stuff once in a while. You only get it once in a while, so then maybe you cheer a lot more. And like the European crowds just seem to be more like invested in loud and rowdy, anyways. So they should make for some good TV as long as they're not trying to get themselves over.
You know, so there's one that you were asking about football chants. You know, the song "Freed from Desire."
Freed from Desire.
Freed from Desire. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na, freed from desire. Okay. That one. Yeah. Right. So it's sung in football. So like it started with Will Griggs on fire. Your defense is terrified. Will Griggs on fire. You could have like Bronson's on fire. Roman Reigns is terrified. Stuff like that. We need some new tunes over. Let's see what they come up with.
Yeah, and we'll get some good ones. Get some good ones that Americans will then use for a year straight and then rinse, recycle. And, you know, the Americans just can't come up with their own that seem to get over.
Yeah.
Like people trying to sing. I guess Americans have, you know, musical.
Limited to 4 syllables, I think. That's the problem.
Let's go. See, like, it's just the same, like, always the same cadence and patterns and just like
defense.
Yeah. I like the singy songs, but I like the singy songs, but then like here we are, and I bet you in a week or two after watching it'll definitely be more of the WWE crowd where then they're singing throughout the whole show, and you're like, okay, guys, I'm trying to like we get it. Good song, you know. It's like
okay. No one's saying anything particularly interesting right now. So
fair, absolutely, yeah, definitely. So hey, if you're in the UK and you're going to any of these shows, we'd love to see some feedback or have fun while you're at it. And chant. You're allowed to. Just don't chant some bad profanity or they might kick you out. Sometimes they don't like that. We have a super chat. They're welcome here at the Post Wrestling YouTube from Jake from the Windy City. He's referring to you, Davie. He says, I loved your tweet weeks ago, Davie, about people in industry being against criticism. I'm tired of the you never took bumps, so what makes you an expert BS. We're the consumers paying y'all. Yes.
Yeah. No, I agree with my own tweet there, Jake. No, but it's true, you know, like a movie bombs at the box office. People are like, that was a shit movie. Do you ever hear the directors or the actors going like, yeah, well, I don't see you in any movies. When did you ever act? It's like, come on, but The Room is a terrible movie. Like, I'm okay saying that. Like, I don't need to be a cook to know if something tastes bad. You know,
yeah. Well, we went to a wrestling show years ago, and these guys were chirping some of the wrestlers, indie show, and some of the other indie wrestlers were near in the crowd where these like rowdy guys. It wasn't us, but we were near them, and the wrestlers went, "You suck" or whatever, like you can't fucking wrestle or something like that. And all these other indie wrestlers like were angry at this other guy in the crowd, and they went, "Yeah, well, let's see you get in there and wrestle." And the guy like took a second. He's like, "Yeah, well, I paid money to see these guys wrestle. So I didn't pay money to go see me wrestle." And then the wrestlers were like, "Yeah, well, I'll kick your ass." And then the guy was like, "Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you would probably do that."
Very sensitive people in this business. Very sensitive people.
Like there is a thing to that in anything in sports. Obviously, if you were like an athlete, you would know like how the game goes and stuff. But there are plenty of very famous and effective coaches and like critics in all sorts of different mediums and everything of that. Like, you know, never do it. So sorry, we've never taken a bump, but you've clearly, if you think we've never taken a bump, you've never come to a Poisonrana party in the 6 because the chops come out, Big Tom. Oh, you're talking about a different kind of bump. Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, hey, come on.
Wait a second. We definitely don't do that in our parties. That did come out wrong. But we tend to get the chops out. We tend to get a little rowdy with the wrestling moves sometimes. Yeah. You know, maybe this Sunday I'll hit a Canadian Destroyer off the bar. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see.
No chopping in the face though, like Inamura was doing today. That's uncalled for.
And no bumps. I mean, you can do what you want, but just I don't want to see it. But yeah, thank you, Jake, for the super chat. I appreciate as always. But why are you going through Davie's tweets from like weeks ago?
You don't want to go too far back with them. That's what Was Next is for.
Yeah, you should listen to some of our shows on the Patreon where we dig through each other's old tweets. It's a great bit. for those who've never heard it before. Anyways, let's talk about some NXT, the go-home show for WWE Heatwave. This is going to get confusing. It's NXT Heatwave, but it's WWE Heatwave. But we're promoting WWE NXT Heatwave. But tonight, August 19th, 2025, NXT is in Philly. We're at the Met, Philadelphia. This little venue here looked really nice, actually. I thought
this venue is stunning. Bit of a different layout. Like you had I always like a balcony. I think balconies look really cool in wrestling. Beautiful chandelier. You had a huge screen for the entranceway, but the ring was elevated. Did you notice this?
Yeah.
So we had like some of the old WrestleManias, like a higher ring on a stage with the audience lower down, where I guess you'll be able to see a lot better that way, I would think. Although
I guess like because the way the venue is, like people in the back, so maybe it helps like people see. It makes me nervous.
Especially stuff on the floor, right? Like that's the thing at wrestling. Whenever they go out of the ring and are on the floor, if you're on those floor seats, you can't see anything. But I thought it looked great. Like a lot of these venues NXT have ran at look really unique and different, and awesome setting for this, I thought. Yeah,
it kind of similar like the AEW residency ones they do. Like there's like the smaller, it's more intimate, but you still fit a lot of people. I didn't think the sound maybe was too good here. I don't know if maybe it was just the crowd weren't that loud for some of the stuff, but there were moments where it was very, very quiet on the show. Maybe that was just me, but I don't know if that has something to do with the acoustics in this. I don't know if this is a necessarily a music venue or whatever this venue is, but it looked cool. Shout out Philly. And we're here with NXT as we kick off. It's Philadelphia. So of course we got to bring out the chairs, tables, kendo sticks. It's a Philadelphia street fight. Josh Briggs taking on Yoshiki Inamura, former friends, now termed bitter rivals. As before the match could even start, before the entrances, before the show even starts, Josh Briggs attacks Inamura near gorilla position. So they start to fight and brawl as they make their way to the ring, and the ref rings the bell. So the match starts. And now there's just Briggs beating down on Inamura. He grabs some chairs into the ring. Booker T starts to co-sign Josh Briggs. He says, Corey, come on, give me a co-sign. Briggs, we knew it all along. He just needed to be mean. And Graves eventually says, yes, I accept the co-sign. Briggs finally finding a groove, being a bit of a dick, essentially. A series of big boots from Briggs here for a near fall. This is when Inamura comes back. He goes underneath the ring and grabs a baseball bat, but not just any baseball bat, a Phillies bat here. And he goes to get it, but there's a chair shot to the knee. I did like this, the little things here with Briggs. He's already on the ground, so he just swings the chair at his knee, bashing it in. And then he grabs the bat and does, it's not quite the White Russian, but it is Philly, so I get why he's doing it. But the Phillies baseball bat Russian leg sweep from Josh Briggs for a near fall. During picture-in-picture, Vic references that you could, I think there was like a kick or a boot or something, and he's like, oh, he sent him all the way flying in. You could hear him in Pittsburgh. And Graves is like, you know what? A lot of people always make that joke, but Pittsburgh is actually quite far from Philly. I just want to like clarify that. And that's something I learned. I realized, Pittsburgh's actually kind of far from Philadelphia.
Pennsylvania's huge.
Yeah.
Like we drove through it going to North Carolina last year. And we were nowhere near Philadelphia.
It's a lot. Is there a lot going on there?
Where? Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh.
It's a big sports city as well, right?
Yeah. Well, Yoshiki comes back here. He starts to try to attack on Briggs here. They grab a guardrail at one point, and he sets it up over these chairs in the ring, and he's up top, but Briggs superplexes him on top of it. Very painful looking here for a near fall. And then Briggs grabs a bunch of kendo sticks, and he launches one like a lawn dart here. This hits Inamura like in the body. This looked like it really hurt. He then grabs some duct tape and tapes Yoshiki to the ropes and then starts delivering these huge kendo shots to him. You just see the welts and the marks there. But eventually Inamura just hulks up, rips through the tape, and then starts to come at Briggs with a series of crazy chops and sumo chops and clubs and everything. But eventually Briggs slams him through a trash can, but Inamura kicks out. At one point, we see Briggs is bleeding like a whole lot, where the ref is actually keeps going over to him to wipe it off his face here. Inamura sets him up on a table and hits the sayonara splash. I don't know if that's what he calls it, but that's what I'm going to call it now. But Briggs kicks out of his finishing move.
This is through the table.
Yeah, really very impressive here, but not enough to keep him down. When they're back to their feet, Briggs hits the clothesline from hell, but with the chain wrapped around his arm, and then gets up with a table and hits a moonsault through the table for the 1-2-3. Josh Briggs pins Yoshiki Inamura in the Philadelphia street fight. A pretty fun match here with some, classic WWE, especially NXT bumps, the chair, the tables, the steps and stuff, if you will. But for what it was, I thought these two obviously had chemistry when they were a tag team, but obviously have chemistry going up against each other. So I know this was the street fight, but I kind of want to see this one more time. I would like to go back to this.
Man, this was awesome. I loved this match. I think one of the best street fight, Extreme Rules, whatever you want to call it, matches we've had on NXT for a long time, because as you say, like it is kind of restricted in WWE when you're doing these kind of matches. When you see like death matches and stuff on other shows that they get to do a lot more and push the boundaries a lot more, they are limited. And I thought they did it. This was such a hard-hitting match. There was some quite unique stuff in this match as well. I normally hate the trash can on the head and then whacking it, especially when he was like punching it with his fists. I'm like, come on, you're doing yourself more damage than Josh Briggs here. And I'm thinking that, and then the trash can comes off and Briggs's face is fucked up. And I think this might have been from that baseball bat shot to the trash can that just like cut him on the forehead or something, but looked nasty. The welts all over Inamura were just like looked horrendous. And then I completely bought that was going to be the finish with Inamura's splash through the table.
Me too.
So great near fall with that kick out. And I thought Briggs going over here, look, we've been kind of a bit of an advocate for Briggs for a while and have been saying he should really be starting to be elevated and pushed towards the top of the card. And I really thought this was a bit of a star-making performance from Briggs here. And, skipping ahead, we know Javon is facing Oba. Now, if you do pull the trigger with strapping up Javon, I think Javon and Josh Briggs down the line for the title could be quite an interesting match to do. But yeah, this was my favorite match of the show. I absolutely loved this.
Yeah. It definitely had some fun. Like I said, I'm definitely tired of the classic WWE and NXT street fights or gimmick matches, whatever. They're usually all the same like this, but these guys got a bit more physical. There was actual blood, even without it. Like there was some good violence and stuff in it. The
barricade spot looked pretty nasty. And as I mentioned earlier, Inamura is like doing these chops to the chest and then just starts chopping his forehead as well. And there was stuff like that like made it stand out, I thought.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I know like Josh Briggs gets the heel heat right now, especially that promo last week, but hopefully it's not like go away heat. Hopefully this can translate and they can attempt to go forward with him and see if it works. Cause like he held his own in that promo and then now he had a solid match. So I'm like, where do we go? Do we try to elevate him to a North American or world championship kind of slot? Cause he has delivered on PLEs obviously too. So, but yeah, a really fun opening match here on NXT. And I wouldn't mind if they did it again, but again, he beat him in a street fight. I don't know really if you would, but not sure what else there is for Inamura either after this, but he's a hell of a competitor. Some really fun stuff.
Yeah. We
go from that to Ava is on FaceTime with Masha Slamovich and Santino Marella. And they're talking about how Masha is going to be the referee in the 6-woman tag later tonight. And Santino says there will be no shenanigans. And, there's probably going to be shenanigans. But I love how they're on FaceTime here, recording the conversation. A 3-way call. And Santino knows nothing. We go backstage, Sarah with Trick Williams. And she says, Trick, you retained the title at Emergence. And Trick says that I beat Moose down in his hometown. And Javon, you might just be stupid. You might flip, flop, fly and you like to bounce, but tonight I'm going to bounce your ass back to high school because I've said it before. This is a man's sport and you just aren't that. So tonight, Trick versus Javon in the main event. Winner faces Oba at Heatwave. Definitely looking forward to that.
Actually, something I wanted to mention from Raw was, and I don't know if this was during like a commercial break or something, but Trick Williams was there. When they cut to the sort of Byron Saxton in the crowd or Jackie Redmond interviewing.
Yeah.
And Trick Williams cut a promo kind of similar to this. And then Javon interrupted them. But what I found interesting from this was the crowd were really loud for both guys. They seemed to know who these people were.
Nice.
And were kind of like hot for them, which you don't always get that, right, with the NXT talent because it's your main roster audience aren't necessarily watching NXT. So I did find that interesting that both Javon and Trick seemed over with the Raw crowd.
I mean, the way things are going, those two should be big stars on Monday Night Raw in the future, right? Like, I would assume so. We go to our next match. Ricky Saints, remember him? Taking on Jasper Troy in a grudge match here. Right away, the big Jasper boots Ricky out of the ring here as they starts to beat down on him as we go to picture-in-picture pretty early. He's throwing Ricky around. There's some pretty lazy slams to the mat on the outside. They're not looking too great. They go back into the ring. This is when I noticed the crowd getting very quiet. Maybe they just weren't big fans of Jasper's slow pace here. When we come back from commercial break, Ricky keeps countering everything Jasper's trying to do. The big man's trying to flip him and he like backflips onto his feet. Eventually though, Jasper sends him back into the corner with these corner chargers and like football tackles almost. They go back to the outside where Jasper sets up the ring steps and goes to do like a back senton, but Ricky moves out of the way. It's similar to the move that they kind of messed up. Was it last week or the week before on the ramp or whatever? So here it's Troy just landing back first onto the steps, which allows then Ricky to hit a tornado DDT on the outside. He gets Troy back in the ring and hits a second tornado DDT for the 1-2-3. And Ricky Saints finally can get Jasper Troy off his mind, out of his way, because I would imagine this rivalry is done. But look at the first match that we just watched and just talked about. And then I watched this match. It felt like a complete opposite of what I was watching in that opening match because I love Ricky Saints. We've definitely talked a lot about him in the past few years, but this feud with Jasper Troy has not worked at all for me, at least.
It's bizarre. Like, I really hope this is done because this whole thing has really derailed Jasper Troy. Derailed Ricky.
Yeah.
Look, I just think the role of the big man has evolved so much over the years. Like, you see what some of these big men are capable of, and then you have someone like Obafemi as well, who is just tossing guys around and just has that presence. I don't feel Jasper Troy really has that presence, and he's so green at the moment. Where I think he'd be better off just being on Evolve right now. You know, like. The role of NXT has changed. You know, back when it was on the network, it was kind of hidden away a little bit. You could take risks with certain people and, you know, they're not overly being exposed. But now you're on the CW, you're on TV. You've got now developmental in things like Evolve. And I really think that's where Jasper Troy should be. Because I just think I think by the time he maybe improves, like, everyone's going to be sick and tired of him anyway. Like, I am already sick and tired of him. Just, as you said, like, lazy slams, then boring, like, abdominal stretches and stuff like that. I thought the miss senton on the steel steps, like, that looks painful. Like, that was probably the best bit of the match. But this is really, like, made Ricky Saints stale. Like, he came in, had the Ethan Page feud. They teased a feud with Wesley that never came into anything. Like, Ricky should be in here feuding with Wesley, feuding with Trick Williams, feuding with these guys. Like, he shouldn't be in the Sean Spears role of trying to get other people over. He should be getting himself over. And I like this whole story kind of sucked. And it's made Ricky a lot less interesting. Now, he's talented enough, especially on the mic, to to get himself heated back up again. I'm not overly concerned, but hasn't been the most exciting run for Ricky Saints so far in NXT.
I said it. It's the same thing as Blake. It's like we brought in someone before PLE, did it a surprise, didn't even have their name yet. And then as soon as now we have them and got the shock, got the moment, we don't know what to do with them now. We don't know, like we didn't have, oh yeah, thanks for coming and thanks, join our show, but we just don't have anything planned. So then you get stuff like this that just feels so like, oh, really? Oh, okay.
Like, wouldn't a Wesley feud be great right now? Like, Wesley's doing absolutely nothing and is awesome. And I know he's in this weird heel role, but if you're having him as a heel, have him against a great baby face like Ricky Saints and actually have something interesting. But this ain't it. Instead, Wesley's priority is trying to get High Rise over the tag team, and Ricky's trying to get this guy over. It's really odd.
Like at some point, Ricky could be like NXT champion here in NXT. Like he could be on the main roster. He doesn't necessarily need NXT, but it's just weird that we went with this guy. I know it's the LFG and all that, but man, like I know it's so early for this Troy guy, but like this definitely after multiple weeks of watching him, I'm already over him completely. So don't know where we go with this guy. It's kind of like the old Tough Enough days, you know, like. You win Tough Enough. Okay, cool. Are you good? It doesn't all of a sudden make you like know everything. You know, Daniel Puder won, but The Miz had a way longer career coming in at number 2. So like, it's weird how that's kind of similar to, I know I went to 2004, 2005, because, you know, that's the best year of wrestling, but like, there's so many instances of that show and people on it not necessarily working out. But
I mean, you see that on things like American Idol and X Factor and things like that. Like quite often the runners up or third place, like, you know, One Direction, Harry Styles right now, one of the biggest artists in the world. They came third, I think, in that season.
Wow.
Right? Like, and they're enormous, selling out MSG and stuff like that. I just think I get like, it was the same with Tough Enough, right? Like, I think right back to the beginning, the Maven thing. You want to kind of strike the iron when it's hot and get something and get them out there like quite early, but then you should pull them away and develop them. You know, have him come in and just do that first match he had or whatever. But then, really, I think Evolve is where this guy should be developing right now.
Yeah,
TV, you know,
I feel like that's definitely the case with a lot of people, not just like singling this guy out, but like. There's a few times we've seen this, but this is kind of like a weird project because over the last few years, we saw it a lot during 2.0 where it was just throwing people out in the deep end on TV and watching them like flounder. And you're like, what? Why would you do that? Whereas you see more of a picked spots and stuff. So it was kind of weird seeing this guy out there where I think unanimously everyone who watches NXT in the past few weeks or months or however long this Jasper guy has been here, that you're like, oh wait, like this guy should this guy even be on TV at this point? Does he even know what his character is? The only time, you know, I'm sick of it. We said this before, but the only time a wrestler should roar if it's like towards the end of a match and you're both killing each other, bloodied face or something, and you're like and like screaming and, you know, Super Saiyan mode or whatever, hulking up, whatever. But just roaring just to roar, get out of here. Go away. No, thank you. Wrestling's moved on, you know. Again, there's a time and a place for roaring, but not just with this chains too. I can't stand. I feel like I'm being mean, but like,
you were so close to not mentioning the chains this week, and then you're like,
goes to Christmas past fucking
chains.
But he lost clean to a tornado DDT. So like, to Tubi you go, sir. Please. Go backstage. Hank and Tank walk into Ava's office. They're upset about Dark State and they want their match. And I think they want to know who's they're going to face. And this is when the Iceman cometh. Iceman from TNA. I just call him Iceman because we know him from indie wrestling in Ontario. But the Elegance. What is it? The
Concierge?
Elegance. Yeah, the Concierge. Consigliere? No, that's someone else. The Elegance brand come in. Ash, Heather, and M. And they're upset that Masha is the special ref tonight. And Iceman says, don't let that Masha Slamovich be the ref. She is filthy. And Masha slows up. And, you know, her pants did kind of look dirty. So, and in a ref shirt that was like kind of all like scruffed up. So maybe he was onto something. But she shows up and says, "Nah, I'm going to be the ref, and I'm going to call it right down the middle." And then she winks, and Iceman says that we got to go call the lawyers. Did you see that? So they run off to get ready for their match and to call their lawyers. But yes, Elegance.
Now I haven't really been following TNA apart from NXT results on TNA really, so I didn't really realize that the Elegance brand were heels. And then I'm like, oh, so we're going to 2 heel teams against each other with, I guess, Masha Slamovich as the sole babyface in this tag.
Yeah, kind of weird, but I would assume if you're TNA, the NXT crowd would cheer for you, and if you're NXT in a TNA show, the NXT crowd might cheer for you. I don't know how that would work, but yeah, heel versus heel teams tonight. Jordynne Grace makes her way to the ring. She has a microphone. She's cutting a promo ahead of her match with Blake Monroe this Sunday. But before the match, these two cannot touch each other. They cannot attack each other or the match is off. Jordynne's alone in the ring with a mic. She says, "I know there's been plenty of setbacks in my career and in my life, and I've been in this business a while, and I'm learning how these things work and how this company works. And I watch wrestling just like all of you," as she points to the crowd. "I've been wrestling for 15 years. And in those 15, I've never had someone exploit my insecurities publicly. And it got me angry. I was very angry." And she's upset that this has happened to her. When Blake Monroe comes out, she's got a bunch of jobber cops, security dudes. And she goes, "Oh, Muscle Muffin." Great nickname. She says that you can't touch me, and that is why I have all the security here, and starts to kind of run down Jordynne, calls her a loser, and that she's not fit in here in WWE NXT like she is. And we get she's jealous crowds from she's jealous chants from the crowd, I should say. And then she calls Jordynne ugly, and Jordynne says, "Well, I can't attack you, but I can do this." So she beats up all the security and then gets in her face and says, "I'll see you Sunday at Heatwave." But I love Jordynne Grace. I specifically love watching her wrestle and throw people around, but I felt like she was a little exposed here with just the standalone promo to begin with, on top of Blake Monroe, who coming off some really bad promos the past few weeks as well, making this one of my least favorite feuds in wrestling in 2025. Mariah May had one of the best feuds in this year in Toni Storm, but Blake Monroe and Jordynne Grace, I am a big fan of both of them, but something about this is not working. And I don't know if Jordynne Grace, if promos are necessarily her strong suit, but something in this did not click for me. The crowd were crickets until that "she's jealous" chant. That's where I thought was something wrong with this crowd, or volume or audio or something, because it was so quiet that it almost seemed like it maybe threw Jordynne off a little bit of where she was in the promo and all that. But I did not think this was good.
No, I think so much of the time on this show, we criticize the writing, right? And we go like, you're not giving these performers great stuff to work with. And like, it's an uphill battle to start with. I actually thought Jordynne Grace's content was good. But just, there was no connection to it, right? So I didn't feel for her at all. There was like so many gaps between everything she was saying, which I don't know if it was waiting for the crowd to like get behind her or whatever, but it just felt at moments you could hear crickets in the background and tumbleweed rolling across and that sort of thing. I just thought there was no connection to what she was saying. And then this version of Blake Monroe, it's just, I've said before, very two-dimensional. I don't think there's the depth of this character that we necessarily saw with Toni Storm. You're telling a kind of similar story as that Toni Storm story. However, that was pretty much a year before the breakup. Whereas this, like Jordynne Grace is like, I've never made friends in wrestling. And then I decided after 1 week of being on TV together that Blake Monroe is my friend.
Yeah.
And just, it feels so rushed through. And it's, I thought this was pretty bad. As I said, as soon as she starts throwing the security round, she looks great. But yeah, it's a tough one, right? Because you're gonna have to, if you're gonna get better, you've got to practice. You've got to keep doing promos, and
absolutely.
But it just like the promo, I kind of felt Jordynne Grace's stock dropping with every line she was saying.
Again, love her. Like she's great. Like men, women, like when it comes to the in between those drops, she's so amazing and fantastic and so much fun to watch, entertaining wrestler. But so far, just as an NXT viewer, I'd say her promo game is very bad. Like I think that's if you were to say the one issue she's got is clearly that's the one thing that you would work on, because if she does, she's the full package for sure. But so far, I'm like, ooh, and Blake too. Like Blake is supposed to be this heel, like, you know, good slick, and I'm not finding that either. I'm finding this is just like a flat story that's just really bad. I love both. Again, I love both these wrestlers, but this is in my head like got to be one of the top worst feuds of this year in the short lifespan that it's had.
I think flat as well. That's Jordynne's delivery is flat. I think there's, you know, when I was training and acting, like direction I'd always get is like, hey, like change your tone of your voice, lift stuff, like have some tune to when you're speaking, because otherwise, if you're just talking monotonously and at this level, you know, people tune out. And that's how I feel Jordynne Grace's promos are. There's no excitement to it. There's no tune in her voice. It's very monotonous. She has quite a deep voice as it is, which isn't helping, but she needs to like lift things and really try to connect with what she's saying, because I actually believe like a lot of the stuff she was saying is probably quite true. I imagine she has had these struggles and stuff, and kind of, you know, identity and those kind of things. Like it's stuff all of us have gone through, right? Like, so I believe that, but I didn't believe her, which was, it's just weird. Like you got to try and find a way to connect to what you're saying. And
like whether you get booked as more of a heel, a heavyweight for someone else, like a secure, like someone who's not necessarily the big talker or promo or whatever, but at some way, shape, or form, you do have to do it. Like
it's just difficult as a baby face to have a mouthpiece, right? A mouthpiece is such a heel thing to have.
No, I'm saying as a heel, like she would be better.
A heel.
She would be better fitting, probably. Like, but then when it comes to the wrestling, she's so good that people want to give her like standing ovations all the time and cheer. But yeah, so far the character is kind of just, what are you? I'm a juggernaut. And it's like, okay, like needs something.
In a way, it would have almost have been better if you could have tried to sort of double turn these two and Fatal Influence, you know, because I think Fatal Influence, I mean, JC was kind of over in her match today, and I think they've been kind of connecting, at least with me, they have more. And having Jordynne Grace as Blake Monroe's heavy as a heel, kind of dominating the division. You can have Blake doing a lot of the talking, and Jordynne doing the muscle. And then a year from now, or 6 months or whatever, then you can split these two up, and there might actually be more substance to it.
Yeah. And the substance is maybe what they're going for with this storyline, but it's not working. But that would be totally like if the match is loser has to leave NXT or loser has to be like, you know, my side piece, then that would probably work so much better if Jordynne was more of like the silent killer kind of thing, where it's like, just I think you know, this is developmental, and if maybe her weakness in her game is promo, then they threw out there to go, hey, like let's see and do it. But unfortunately, it didn't hit for me here, and I'm you know, if I was her, definitely would work on it, because like I said, if she were to be good in the promo on top of her like stellar, better than most wrestling,
I mean, she's one of the best in the world, right?
Yeah, like she could be top if she like I'll always go back to like, okay, Will Ospreay, great wrestler. Some people are like, oh, he just does flips and stuff. No, you just don't watch maybe his current stuff. But his hole was promo. Dude disappeared for a few months and then came back, signed with AEW. It was one of the best talkers, dare I say, that they got going on. Yeah, some people are like, oh, he just says bruv and he's got an accent. Like, no. And then in interviews, he's like, no, actually, I sucked at promos. I was like nervous and this, so I took classes and training and this and focused on it. And look, now he's perhaps the most well-rounded wrestler like ever.
I've said it before. It's the Harry Kane thing. Like Harry Kane in interviews has said, like, I'm really good with my right foot. I'm one of the best players in the world. Not as good with my left foot. So every day in training, I'd only use my left foot to play.
Right.
Until I'm as good kicking my left foot as I am with my right foot. And you shouldn't just be like, I'm a great wrestler. Yeah. Send her to Evolve. Send her to do promos in Evolve on Tubi.
It's kind of like the same with like Jungle Boy. Like Jungle Boy is a great wrestler when the bell rings, and again in the ropes he's really entertaining, but he couldn't find his voice. He couldn't find what he was like, what he was trying to say, why he was trying to say it. And he's again someone in interviews who's been like, it's a flaw in my game, but I feel like if he was someone to have that like charisma or pizzazz or something there, he could be something. But there's doubt in people when he doesn't cut promos and stuff. And it's wrestling. Obviously the matches matter, but there's more to that, right? You gotta have a little bit of everything. But I'm not calling it. It's not over for Jordynne Grace by any shot. Sure. Like she's still gonna be great. But this was an interesting segment. Yeah. Fatal Influence are backstage and they're getting ready for their match. Laney walks by, Zaruka walked by, and they mention JC 2 belts. And JC says, yeah, well, Soul, shouldn't you be actually defending your titles? And she has the Speed Championship, which may not actually be a championship anymore. I don't know if she even knows the status of the Speed Championship.
Well, the Speed show has gone, but it looks like this Speed title is being defended next week.
So Soul says, yeah, well, I got the need for speed. Yeah. If Soul Ruka wasn't my favorite already, the Top Gun references definitely putting her back in my top slot. But yeah, so next week, the Speed title defended on NXT. Say it be so. Is that true?
I think that's what we're getting to, yeah. There was less dissension this week with Fatal Influence. Like the last few weeks, we've seen them be very catty with each other.
Right.
We didn't really have that, but then when Laney Reid came in, she very much just ignored the other two, and it seems like she's kind of fangirling a little bit over JC. So I could see something coming from that down the line. But yeah, the Speed Championship being defended on NXT.
3
Did
minute
you see
matches?
Laney taking it?
No, yeah.
Is Laney an Evolve?
Don't ask me this.
Have her win the title and just take it there, You want
to start an Evolve podcast?
Yeah. we tried once.
We did. We were way ahead of the curve. Years before Evolve was on WWE. We were also watching Triple Mania before all y'all fakes. We knew who Mr. Iguana was years ago.
I do pulling the curtain back a bit. When Evolve started to be on the network a little bit, and we
even before that we would watch on like they had a different service, right? Was it not like High Spots or IWTV or something? But we would watch some of these other ones.
We started doing a show. This is very early in our podcasting days. Podcasting days together. Yeah. And called Everything Evolves. And then
Everything Evolves.
Then I think it was the Voices of Wrestling guys who like messaged and was like, hey, you do realize like we actually had a show called this. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then they're like, you know what? It's fine. It's Evolve.
They're like, no one wants to do a show in Evolve.
We've had to do the same thing with people where it's like, hey, check out the upNXT podcast. And like, is that what you're calling yourselves? Okay.
Right. Yeah. It happens, but everything does evolve. And maybe our wrestling taste will. And one day, Evolve do 3 minute matches. So Speed titles should just go there at some point. You have to learn, in Evolve and developmental, you have to learn how to take it home. As Trick and Javon learned tonight. Sometimes you just got to go. It's like All in Chicago in 2018. Sometimes Marty and the Rainmaker go long. You got to know how to go home real quick. You learn that in developmental. So I don't remember where we were, but Javon Evans is backstage with Sarah. She's asking him about Trick tonight. He says that Trick is just selfish. And Trick knows that I got his number, and he's trying to be a wrestler, a rapper, an actor, a bad actor. He says, He got chokeslammed by the Undertaker, and Undertaker is in my corner, and I'm gonna whoop that trick straight like that tonight. So hyped for his #1 contendership match tonight.
It's still just weird, like getting over, like, okay, yeah, the Undertaker's in this guy's corner. I know he means metaphorically, not like physically in his corner of the mat, but it's just, after years and years of watching the Undertaker, now Undertaker's just a big Javon Evans fan.
It's like when you play 2K. It's like, or like back in the day, Here Comes the Pain, and you'd play like, and my career wrestler and Undertaker's his manager. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. I guess it would be even better if Undertaker was actually Javon Evans' manager. You don't have to explain.
I want to see him be Trick's manager coming out to whoop that trick.
Right. You could do it in the video game. Well, I heard Triple H saying that Undertaker had a lot of presence at the Triple H show this past weekend. I guess Undertaker, a big Lucha fan.
Yeah.
And helped running the show.
I heard he agented the Pimpinella spot, right?
No. Apparently, though, he pitched for Michelle McCool to win the Mega Championship, though. But they vetoed that. They're like, dude, we've done enough with Michelle McCool. She's not winning the AAA Mega Championship. That's reserved for Dom at Worlds Collide, right? That's who's probably going to win that one. We go to our 6-woman tag match at Ash by Elegance, the Elegance brand. We got Dana Brooke. It's NXT, okay? That's what I didn't wear my Dana Brooke shirt. I have it. I found it. I completely forgot.
You lied to me last week.
I completely lied to you. I have it, though. Okay, next week. Sunday. No, I don't really want to wear it on Sunday, but I'll go change right now. Ash by Elegance, M by Elegance, and Heather by Elegance. Heather Reckless and Maggie here, as they joke on commentary. Corey's like, did M's parents forget the rest of her name? And Corey's like, yeah, it's Maggie.
Yeah, Vic had a line as well, like Heather, known to be reckless earlier in her career.
Yes, Heather Reckless. And this is Maggie Lee also. I've seen some stuff of her on the indies as well. They mentioned Masha Slamovich is the referee in this match, and Elegance brand is taking on Fatal Influence. JC Jane, Jasmine Nix, and Fallon Henley. Early on, Elegance are doing some flashy things, tagging in and out. Heather hits this splash off the shoulders of Maggie for a 2 count on Nix. That was pretty good. Ash and JC are at it, and they're going back and forth with different pinning combos. NXT legend Dana Brooke here. Fallon comes in, but the Iceman sweeps her leg ringside, and then Masha ejects him from ringside. You are out of here. During picture-in-picture, Elegance start to beat down on Fallon, almost baby-facing Fatal Influence here. Ash hits a cartwheel elbow, followed up by a boot from Maggie for a near fall. Heather misses a moonsault, and then JC's in there. She's hitting some crazy offense, and then there's the Elegance brand take control yet again and get Nix in this bow and arrow, and then Heather jumps off the top with this stomp. I thought this move was very impressive from Elegance brand, and then followed up by like a Meteora, but JC super kicks Ash's head off here to break up the pinning. There's then Fallon who comes
the super kick breakup. That looked so snug. That looked great. I feel.
Ouch, for sure. Eventually Fallon's in and then sends Maggie flying to the commentator desk. She is beating down on her right in front of the commentators, allowing Ash in the ring to hit the swanton on Nix, but Masha is distracted by what's going on, so she's not making the pin. She sees it, counts 1, counts 2, but it's broken up, allowing JC to tag in and hit the rolling encore on Ash for the 1-2-3. And JC Jane, the 2-belt champion here, goes into Heatwave this Sunday winning. Could this be a potential sign of champion wins on the go-home show? Meaning maybe one of those. What title is she even putting on the line on Sunday? But you know what? This was a pretty fun match. I'm not super familiar with a lot of Ash by Elegance. I have followed Heather and Maggie on some indie stuff.
You're not familiar with Ash by Elegance?
Sorry, not Ash. Heather Reckless and Maggie. Like we haven't seen obviously on NXT. So it's always cool seeing indie wrestlers get some WWE shine. That means their price goes up. I like to see that. But I thought they had some cool stuff. Like the gimmick is silly, but it's wrestling. It's almost like, okay, we'll take a little bit of the Tony Storm, add a little bit of, Rick the Model Martel, and mix it up with these three ladies. But I think it kind of works. It's kind of funny. And some of the wrestling is actually pretty good. I think Dana Brooke has improved since being in NXT. I guess she learned a lot in TNA. So I wasn't expecting much in this match. And then I ended up being pleasantly surprised of how fun it was. And again, proving JC, like, they're making her strong with this win.
Yeah, this is for the TNA Championship, the Knockouts Championship, JC, Masha, and Ash. I thought especially the final stretch of this match was really fun, like with the near falls, the distraction, the swanton from Ash, and like a great looking super kick. I thought Fallon's forearm to, I think it was to M, looked really good as well. I thought it was fun, especially the end of this match. And JC and Fallon can continue to be, I think, very consistent in there. Two of the better women in the division for sure.
Well, after talking about NXT, we'll go through like a big preview and some predictions for Sunday. But yeah, like seeing Ash, M, and Heather, don't always watch them, so it was cool to see them mix it up with Fatal Influence. They're a team that have improved. You said like they always tease the like, will they fall out kind of thing, but I kind of hope they don't, because it has worked. I think Nyx has improved so much that she fits with them, like she can hang with them and take some of these crazy spots and stuff as she did in this match. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing because Masha just being the ref, but like it's Masha, Ash, and JC. I think that could be a fun match on Sunday. We'll see.
Yeah.
We go backstage. Kendall Gray is with Charlie Dempsey, and he's basically talking down to her like, you're a wrestler. You should join the No Quarter Catch crew. It looks like he's just trying to pick her up, really. When Ren comes in and she's like, hey, Charlie, she's like an actual wrestler. She's 61-0. And he says, yeah, well, if I was an actual like amateur wrestler, I would have been 600-0. He's that one guy at the party or at the bar who's like, yeah, well, I could be 600-0. It's like, okay, thanks, Charles. This is when the Culling show up. If they showed up at the bar or the party, then it's a real snooze fest. He says, look, the No Quarter Catch crew, only 2 of you left. And he starts to bully them. And Charlie says that, don't you talk down to Ren. She's a superstar. She could beat both of you, referring to Tatum and who's this one in the Culling again? There's too many NXT names. Izzy Dame. And they're like, oh, yeah? And then they walk off. And Ren's like, dude, what do you mean, Charles? 2 versus 1? So I'm wondering if that match is official. But Ren versus someone in the Culling or both of them for next week, I assume.
Do you see Ren and Kendall eventually teaming up? Or
that would make sense. Yeah, Kendall was right there. So she could be like, hey, like, do you need help, dude? Because like I could help you. So maybe that's the case. And we go towards that. But I don't know about this No Quarter Catch crew.
No, Charlie's being portrayed a bit of a loser, right? Like something needs to change. Like I like Ren and I like Charlie, but I think both are a little better than what they're being given right now. Yeah,
I agree. And I don't know, the Culling stuff, topsy-turvy for me. It's not the most. It's still the chairman, Still the 10 guy.
I mean, I do prefer it now. They're focusing more on Izzy and Tatum. I think Izzy's actually got something out of this. And I prefer it if that's more of the focus on this group than Spears.
Yeah.
But still no Brooks, who's been gone a long time since being kicked out of the group now.
Where is Brooks? We need justice
for Brooks.
Justice for Brooks. We need him to do that Raven character now, where he disappeared and then came back and was like, what was he like, drinking and aggressive? In Philly, that would have been a great spot to have him show up. But still holding out for that. We go to the U.S. Canadian Peace Treaty. That's right. I don't know, wherever you are in the world listening, I don't know if you've heard about the U.S.-Canada relations or lack thereof in the past months. This year has been topsy-turvy for Canadians and Americans. They don't want us to be friends. They don't want us to be friendly. They want us to be enemies. A word I never really knew called tariff is now a word I can't go day by day without hearing a million times if I watch the news or look on my phone. Tariffs this, tariffs that. The orange pumpkin-headed president keeps shitting on us Canadians. So We're fighting for our lives, guys. We're fighting for our tariffs. And all it takes is a North American champion and a former U.S. women's champion to bring the peace for these two nations together. Ethan Page and Chelsea Green are going to bring the peace for Canada and USA here tonight.
To start with, did you see the video they posted? I think it was yesterday. With Chelsea lip syncing Celine Dion, both wearing double denim, as Ethan Page is just stood with the blower, so her hair's flying around. It was great. Like, I actually think
these two work very well together.
This would work on the main roster so well. And
like yesterday,
it's kind of weird that the Secret Harvest thing is the main thing they're doing. Like good for them having a job, but this should be main roster stuff, I think, because they work together so well.
You know, we've joked covering NXT is funny because we see like the test trials of certain characters, wrestlers, or little barcode stuff. Like we always see the test subjects before they do stuff on the main roster. War games, you know, like they test stuff out and then they'll try it on the main roster. This should just be on the main roster. Yeah, this character, like he should be U.S. champ. Who's the U.S. champ? Solo?
Yeah.
Jacob? I forget now. But he should be doing this, like do the Lance Storm thing, make the U.S. title the Canadian thing, and have Chelsea Green because they are two great talkers, two great characters. And if this was my least favorite of them pairing actually in this segment. Just I think the content of what they were saying, but like the stuff with Celine Dion and the great Canadian stuff, like I think there's a time I've been saying for months that like since the Canadian stuff, American stuff, like, hey, where's the pro Canada character? And Ethan Page swooping in, fitting like an absolute glove here with this like pro Canada stuff. But here they are, the peace treaty, and in the ring, Ethan grabs the table and says, "Oh, I'm aware of you Philly freaks, how you guys get down." So he throws the table out because he's like, no one's going through a table in this segment. The Slagents throw it out, I guess I should say. I still can't believe I'm using that word.
I quite like that. They're like, this isn't a contract sign. Like, essentially, this isn't a face-to-face, isn't a contract signing. It's a peace treaty. So no tables.
Out come Tavion, Heights, and Tyra, May, Steele representing America. And Ethan kind of runs down America, like giving them kind of, side digs here, and says that Americans and everything and your opinions, because you're American, don't really actually mean anything. And says, you've become a pretty good star on your own, Tavion, but you've got a big head and you're not there. And you're a loser. And starts to talk about how Canada is a much better country than the U.S. But Tavion says, I've worked hard to get here, so you can't just diminish everything that I've done. Ethan runs him down saying that you weren't good enough to win gold medals in the Olympics because he's like an Olympian but didn't win a gold medal, or he's kind of dressing him down in that way. And Tavion replies with, yeah, you're right, but I'm humble and I'm hungry. And Chelsea interrupts and says, oh, you're hungry. Well, you're a spicy American there. This is where they mention Canada's got Great Lakes and majestic mountains, and says that we're a superior nation with superior athletes. And then Chelsea refers to Tyra as so-called gold medalist. And Steele takes offense to this. She says, so-called? No, girl. I am a gold medal winner. And she says, I won at the Tokyo Olympics.
She kind of messed up the line a little bit here because she says, so-called, I am the first ever Olympic gold medalist.
I was like, wait, what?
She's the first ever Olympic gold medalist woman in WWE.
Right.
Obviously, Kurt, but she said she's the first Olympic gold medal winner of all time, essentially.
It made it sound like she was the first ever gold medal winner in general.
Ever.
Yeah. But yeah, I know what she was trying to say. But yeah. Tavion says that you guys might be sipping on too much maple spirit there. And this is when Ethan starts to be like, hey, you can't talk to me with your American muscle memory and this and that. And they start to get heated. And Ava comes out and she says, you know what? This isn't really, I'm sorry to repeat this. And I quote here, this isn't really giving peace, is it? Well, the four of you are going to be in a mixed tag match at Heatwave this Sunday, and that's when Ethan Page attacks, but both wrestlers counter and put in double ankle locks. Shout out a real gold medal winner, Kurt Angle, here as they send Chelsea and Ethan packing, and that match is official for Sunday. I love these two together in the last few weeks since Ethan Page with the whole Canadian title thing. It's been really good. I thought this was pretty weak of all the stuff that they've done, but I kind of blame the content. I kind of blame Tavion and Tyra May. They're a little too green here to be up against like really strong promo people.
Yeah, I thought this was a bit of a mixed bag. I'll say the positives. I think this is the first time, like, as far as I'm aware, Tyra May has cut a promo in the ring
like this.
And I thought she sounded very confident, and I thought she had good, like, way better delivery than Jordynne Grace did earlier. Like I thought she had pretty good composure, had confidence, sounded good. I thought the content was a little lacking. And I thought the same with Tavion Heights. It's the first time we've really seen him cut his teeth into something. And I thought he sounded good. But the thing was, I think Chelsea and Ethan are so entertaining that, and especially, look, we're two Canadians, Canadian Brit here. So the Americans are the heels to us, right, in this. And I thought they came across quite heelish, from their obnoxious entrance to, even sort of gloating about the Olympic gold medal. Like, we saw it with Kurt Angle. That's something that you can turn as a heel thing very quickly. And when you've got Chelsea and Ethan who just are making you laugh all the time, it makes it difficult for these guys to get over. And by the end of the segment, I kind of felt that the Canadians were the more likable two out of these four.
That's right.
But I will give credit to Tavion and Tyra, because I did think they sounded good. But I thought, considering as you mentioned, I know they're not going to go too into the politics, but there is a reason, I think, why they're doing a segment like this. And I thought you could have got a bit more humor out of it than they did.
Yeah, like, you don't need to talk about tariffs and presidents and prime ministers and stuff, but you can pussyfoot around it. You can dance around it. You could talk about, like, we're not for sale, or you Americans trying to buy us, like you buy everything. And, I don't know. There's a lot you can do. And I hope this continues. Like the match, I'm interested to see what Tyra May Steele can do. It seems pretty quick to throw her on a PLE, but hey, they want to maybe try to capitalize and use the gold medal stuff and everything. So let's see what she can do. We've seen some of her on NXT TV, but this is a PLE, a mixed tag match. I imagine Chelsea and Ethan win.
I think she's got more upside than Jasper Troy if we're looking at the LFG winners.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. But as far as Chelsea and Ethan, like, this is, you said, like, this should be a huge popular act on the main roster, because they're so funny. Yeah. Like, easy to hate, but laugh with, and then, like, pretty decent wrestlers. So, like, I think this is an act they might want to, like, hot shot to the main roster.
I hope they have an elaborate entrance here. Now, I know WWE aren't ones to, like, really license music, but have them come out to Shania or something.
Shania and Celine are just too expensive,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Who could they get instead?
Bare Naked Ladies.
Sure. Yeah.
Who's from Hamilton? Who are the guys? I work at CH, but the Arkells, the most Hamilton band ever, they would probably do it. They would do it for free for Ethan Page. That'd be crazy if they came out. Or Bryan Adams, what other Canadian? I feel like Chelsea Green likes some Bryan Adams. It's Vancouver, where's she? Yeah,
she's Vancouver. Yeah,
good. We need some Canadian inspired entrance in. Where are they? Heatwave in Lowell.
Yeah,
Lowell.
Oh, Victoria, isn't she? Yes, Victoria.
Right. Yes.
Very nice.
So more pro Canada stuff. Oh, I loved her glasses. Shout out
Chelsea looked great.
Yeah, I like this act of Ethan Page.
I did like in that video Ethan's, like, double denim, but the shirtless double denim, like it.
What a G.
The Bret Hart, like it looked good.
Yeah. I want more pro Canada content on my NXT. I'm for this, and they're gonna beat these Americans on Sunday. All right, that's what's gonna happen. That he should have a move called the Tariff. Now that I think it's the Tariff Breaker. Anyways, we go from that to Miles Bourne and Ricky Saints backstage. Ricky after his very scary match earlier. And they're like, man, what's up with Briggs? And like, yeah, he's super disrespectful. We got to watch out for that guy. And Ricky says, yeah, well, you got to watch out for this guy. And Ricky walks off as Lexis King walks in to talk to Miles. Lexis has been just infatuated by Miles Bourne being deaf. And he's like, hey, man, do you have 5 minutes? And Miles is like, what? What do you want? He's like, 5. And he's like using his hand like 5. Just kidding, he says. Hey, you know, Miles, it must be really hard to be deaf and blind. And he's like, what? I said, it must be hard for you to be deaf and blind. And Miles says, you know, Lexis, I'm not blind. And King responds with, well, you are now. And then sprays pepper spray or bear spray into the face of Miles Bourne as he runs off laughing like the fucking Joker or something. And then the jobber, the security and refs come in to check on poor Miles. So now he is blinded by Lexis King. I did get a chuckle of, yeah,
match, haven't we?
We've had the match. We've had him pretend to be deaf for like weeks, but now he sprayed him with what I imagine is pepper spray or bear spray, whatever it is. But wow, pro wrestling.
So is he gonna somehow, you know, crush his throat next so he can't talk, and then Miles will start playing pinball? You know,
break his nose. You can't smell.
Deaf, dumb, and blind kid.
What?
That deaf, dumb, and blind kid sure plays a mean pinball.
Oh, is that the lyrics?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of fucked.
It's a good movie.
No, actually, no, I don't like that movie.
You don't like Tommy?
I really don't like that movie. I love The Who, but that movie's pretty fucked. So Miles Bourne versus Lexis King, and Miles is now going to have like an eye infection. Like, what are we doing here? The PC is just not a safe place where this guy's walking around spraying bear spray in people's eyes.
Yeah, that's not cool.
What the fuck's going on? It's kind of. Have you ever gotten something like that in your eyes? That would suck. Like, he's gonna look super stoned for a whole week, probably. We're probably getting this match next week. And like, I think I like the bear spray. And again, I chuckled at the joke. I can't lie. Like, well, you are now, but it would be a good weapon, like bear spray in a match. You just spray some. Anyways, Kalani Jordan, Lola Vice backstage. Kalani says, hey, nice job last week, but just letting you know that this weekend I'm winning and I'm going to be NXT champion. And Lola's like, yeah, okay. Well, hey, what did you do this weekend? What were your plans? And Kalani's like, well, I did some Pilates. I worked out. She's like, yeah, well, I was wrestling at Triple Mania. When Lash Legend walks in and goes, yeah, I watched you lose on Triple Mania. And Lola's like, yeah, well, you know what that's like, don't you? Ooh. As they all kind of get into it, and Lash is like, yo, why is Jada Parker even in that match? It should be me instead. So this Sunday is Jada versus Kalani versus Lola, #1 contenders match for the women's title.
Kalani had quite a good line here about, you know, Lash was being like, I took Nia to the limit. And she's like, to the limit? All I saw was her ass on your
squashing you.
Yeah, this was a bit pretty much everyone being like, hey, we've all lost. But like, we lost on how big a scale did you lose? But yeah, do you think Lash is going to get involved in the triple threat at Heatwave?
I guess if she's saying like, hey, why is Jada even in this? Or I don't know who. Like Lola, I feel like they've heated up before. I don't know if it's time for Kalani quite yet. I don't know if that's the right direction, but could do a Jada versus JC might be like something the crowds could be definitely into, but yeah, I don't know. Dark State is with Ava backstage, and they say, no one can handle us. Aren't you impressed? And Ava's like, yeah, I'm impressed. And says that you have your match with Hank and Tank for the title, so you should be happy. And they say that they're going to be 2 of us, and they're not going to talk about which ones are going to be in the match just yet. And they say that Sugar Sugar's here, has the mic, or not mic because it's backstage, says, everyone's talking about us from last week. No one's talking about like Javon, Nia Jax, Lash, Joe Hendry. It doesn't matter. They're talking about us. Say his name. And he appears out of a fucking, what is this? Like closet? I don't, just comes out of nowhere. Literally. Joe Hendry's here. And, he says, oh, you said my name and I'm here. And he kind of backs Hank and Tank up by saying like, oh, those guys are good dudes. And which two of you are going to face Hank and Tank? And they say, oh, don't worry. We know which two. And everyone's going to have to get behind Dark State when we get those titles. And then they walk off. And of course, Cutler James says, is it James Cutler? Fuck. He says, Cutler yeah. James. And says, yeah. And you don't want us to get behind you. And then they go, man, why you got to say it like that? And then they all walk off. And then Joe says, well, that's a weird guy. And Ava says, yeah, I'm not too sure about him.
Yeah. It is kind of working a little bit. Like it's the way the three of them are just throughout the whole thing are stood in front and he's just pacing around. He looks so out of place in this group. And I think it is somewhat working doing these things. 1 week he's just going to go and I'm going to fuck you up the bum. Isn't he like just take it too far? But he does look out of place. It's quite funny.
So is this their way of getting rid of him with Ava being like, yeah, I'm not too sure about that guy?
Maybe.
Just looking into it.
Who do you think the two will be? I think Dion Lennox and Osiris.
Sure. Yeah. We'll go with that because those are the two names I can remember right now out of them. Yeah, I don't know. Like I've said last week, like the butt of the joke is this guy's making gay jokes is still like, okay. And then like to make things worse. So like Ava on Twitter just like a few minutes ago after the show, during the show, whatever, takes the video of that segment ending when Cutler says that and walks off. And then she quotes and says, Dark State, ? More like Fruity State.
Yeah.
Got him. So like, again, it's like, they're just, oh, hey, what if we just, you know what your gimmick is? There's 4 of us. And you know what? Your character, he's the guy who says gay jokes all the time. That's what your character is.
Unintentional. Yeah.
Unintentional gay joke gimmick.
It's quite early. Like I have got a chuckle out of it. And I think we said way before they've been doing this, that this dude just seems out of place. Like whenever he was cutting the promo, he just sounds off. But it's so early.
Well, it's because he's gay, Davey. Like, that's why it's like, I don't understand that in 2020.
Can you imagine like the Shield like 2 months in?
Yeah.
And Dean Ambrose they've just made him this guy. Like it's
like,
but Hans says in the chat it's the most over Dark State has ever been. And
I guess. Right? Like it's because people are like, oh yeah, everyone was talking about Dark State last week. Yeah, because everyone's wondering why this guy's gimmick is he's saying some sus shit. It's like, oh, okay. All right. I don't know. I just like that's what you've got for this guy is that he's saying like gay jokes. I don't know. Am I like I'm not saying I'm not laughing at it because now every week when you see them on screen, you're the whole time you're just waiting for him to say something silly, something funny.
Exactly.
So like you said, like how long till it's just like now they're even like already
just like very obvious.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it is the most over they've gotten, but also Fruity State. I'm still not over that one. There's a few other, I'm not going to sit here and make puns on that, but Fruity State would not be the one I would have gone with. But someone in the chat says Dark Steak. That's already, I guess, better. I don't really know, but not better, I guess. Anyways, everyone gets behind Dark State at one point. Main event, Trick Williams versus Javon Evans, #1 contendership for Obafemi NXT title at Heatwave on Sunday. Right away, Trick hits the Cyclone pump kick and tries to pin Javon, but it's a 2.9 count. And then he starts to beat down on him. Already, Javon Evans is bleeding from the mouth here. He even starts to like notice that he's bleeding and starts to like hype up like, oh man, I'm bleeding now. There is like a capoeira kickoff here where they're both trying to hit each other with like handstand. It's Eddie from Tekken here, just trying to fight each other here with the flying kicks when eventually it's Javon who gets the best of him. He hits your boy is bouncy Hurricane Rana, but at this point, all I'm thinking is your boy is bloody here as the ref's like, yo, are you good?
It's like right from the first kick of the match.
Crazy.
He's bloodied up.
So there's a series of chops from Evans in the corner and then a right hand and a shuffle. Trick comes back with a suplex, neck breaker, near falls, and then Javon sends him to the outside with a huge over the rope dive here and then gets him back in the ring. But then as they're fighting on the apron again, Javon gets thrown by Trick in a huge spot over like to the outside on top of into the commentary desk. And Booker T's face alone was like, yo, it was like, I knew you were supposed to throw him, but I didn't realize you were going to throw him like that. Like, holy cow. He went flying. Your boy is bouncy. But yeah, Booker T's face here is like, oh my God, is he okay? As he was checking on Javon here. But
yeah, so this was
hurt.
Javon going for a top rope springboard and then get shoved like mid bounce. So he went flying. Yeah. And as we said, because the ring is like elevated here as well, this looked awesome. I don't think I've ever seen a table spot like this done before. It was
shocking. Like the crowd were like,
and the crowd were, this was awesome.
Booker T's face alone here sells this, but this goes in a picture-in-picture, and then Javon makes it at a 9.999. The ref is just about to call the 10. Javon makes it in here. This is where we see Obafemi, NXT champ, watching in the box here at the Met Philly. We see there's a bunch of back and forths. There's like Vic Joseph on commentary saying there's a puddle of Javon's blood ringside here. He's like, I'm sorry if Javon's family is watching, but like there's a lot of his insides ringside here, essentially. Trick and Javon going back at it in the ring, striking. There's a tope from Javon. Follow up, gets him back in for a 5-star frog splash for a 2 count. And then the flying springboard kick finally has a name because Corey Graves calls it the red dot to the head.
Do you know why? Like, what is that a reference something?
When you got a gun with a red dot right to the guy's forehead where this kick lands on Trick Williams for a 2 count. And then Trick blocks the cutter. This was impressive. Trick doing a handstand. Again, more of that capoeira to block the cutter and then hits an AA, shout out John Cena, for a 2 count when Trick is distracted, not by Obafemi, but Mike Santana in the crowd waving to Trick, distracting him, allows Trick to get hit with the triple jump cutter from Javon, who pins Trick. Javon Evans will advance and will face Obafemi this Sunday for the NXT title in a really fun main event. You know, I thought this show was sandwiched by 2 great wrestling, and I thought maybe I liked this one just a little bit more than the street fight that opened the show. But I thought Trick and Javon has such chemistry with people who can just throw him into other places. Like the gimmick is he's bouncy. It's true because when he faces Oba, I'm sure he's going to be really thrown around. But Trick was beating the hell out of this boy. Like he's bloody. He's getting thrown. He's getting kicked in the head, and he still came out on top. So I thought it was a pretty good story.
Yeah, I thought this was one of the best matches Trick's had. I thought he looked good, and these two have really good chemistry. I thought this main event was really, really strong, and especially that spot through the table. I quite liked the distraction finish actually, because it was Oba had been stood on the perch the whole time, and Trick's like looking up, and like whenever he hits a move on Javon, he's like looking up to Oba, and then it was just the body switch. So he's like, wait, sorry, what? That's not Oba, that's Mike Santana. So as far as distraction finishes go, I thought this one worked. I think I personally enjoyed the opener a little bit more, but 2 really strong matches to bookend the show. I enjoyed the 6-woman tag as well in the middle. the rest I thought left a lot to be desired on this show.
Yeah, you got some good wrestling, again, sandwiched with the opening and ending matches, and then the 6-woman tag, but there was a lot of fluff of like talking, promos. Again, it's setting up for this Sunday, and I totally get that, but at least like they're still pushing the TNA with the Knockouts title being defended and Trick and stuff, but like I was assuming because Moose lost that maybe Moose would come in and get some sort of 4-way, but Javon Evans versus Trick Williams is happening. Finally, one-on-one. Sorry, Javon Evans versus Obafemi one-on-one this Sunday. Like we've said since we've laid eyes on Javon stepping up in the first few weeks of NXT TV he was on, like, hey, we were talking, and I've seen wrestling fans since then of many people are kind of on that side of Javon should probably be the guy to take the title from Obafemi. But now that's not like the question is like, yeah, that will happen, but is it too soon, or is this the time right now to
I don't know. Like I've been saying previous weeks, I think it means more when someone like Javon like beats a big heel, right? Like, you know, you look at the All In thing for all the faults of the Death Rider story throughout the year. Towards those last couple of months, everyone was just itching to see this title come off of Jon Moxley and go on a pure babyface like Hangman Page. I don't think people are itching for Oba to drop this title, and especially with him being a babyface. So part of me is like, I would like it to be, I think it would mean more, the moment would mean more if Javon gets it off of a big heel Obafemi. But after watching this episode, I'm kind of like, I think maybe now's the time to just pull the trigger. Like he lost at Heatwave last year. I think it freshens up a few things. As I said, you have someone like Josh Briggs who could challenge. You've got Wes Lee as a heel who could challenge. Oba's maybe ran out of opponents. So I think maybe it will like freshen things up a little bit. Absolutely.
Like, you know, I don't want to say, but like the Oba run's kind of soft. The Oba run's kind of boring because it's because there's no one else. His matches, his PLE matches have been against guys that we all knew were not going to beat him.
Where this is not going to beat him, or Trick and Javon just like rotating around.
So
right?
Yeah, so now it's the first time where it's like, oh hey, actually Javon's been a pretty big star and a NXT like guy that he should be the one to take it. He will be the one to take it, but I'm wondering if like him failing the first time around might add some more fuel to the story of like one day I'll beat you, Oba, kind of thing. But like, when's this WWE draft? Like, will they move Oba up eventually? Like, he's got to move up when it comes time. But I am a little bored of the Oba title run. That's just because he doesn't have people he doesn't have believable. There hasn't been stories. It's just been like week to week. Okay, this is the cycle for the PLE. And then, okay, I'm facing Miles Bourne. No one's buying Miles Bourne's winning. Okay, I'm facing Inamura. No one's actually buying he was going to do it. Whereas now it's the first time in this entire run where it's like, oh, wait, this is an actual viable person that would make sense if he were to lose it. So it's going to get you to question. But as much as I want Javon to win, I don't think that's what's going to happen this Sunday quite yet. Anyways, like Trick could be pissed. He could cost him. For weeks we were talking and toying about the idea of like double champ, Trick, TNA, NXT. But here you have Santana in the crowd costing him this match. Clearly that's the direction for Bound for Glory.
Yeah.
That we're going to go finally give the title back to Santana. So you would hope they're going to do it in Lowell, not in New York, but in Lowell. We're going to take that.
Bound for Glory is not in Lowell, is it?
Oh, right. Sorry. Is it? No, it is. Isn't it?
Is it as well? Heatwave's in Lowell. Bound for Glory's in Lowell as well.
Lowell. Dude. It's in Lowell. Yo, Lowell's got it going on.
In Lowell.
Yeah. Lowell.
Lowell's the place
Lowell.
to be.
Lowell. Where's the next show in LMAO? That was bad. So that was NXT. Again, we said there was some good wrestling. There was some fluff in between to get you hyped up for this Sunday Heatwave in Lowell. Let's go through this card. We kind of have talked about the predictions, but Jordynne Grace versus Blake Monroe here. We're not really feeling this feud. We're fans of both of them. Hopefully they can have some chemistry and some magic when it comes to an actual match, I think.
Do you think... I wonder if you go with Blake. Unfortunately, I feel like they might prolong this feud, in which case I think Blake wins.
Okay. Yeah, I see Blake winning.
Yeah.
Just because, like, the heel, and unfortunately, continuing this feud. They need to change something in this, but Blake winning in a dastardly way maybe would spice it up a tiny bit. But I'm hoping we get some good wrestling from Blake. Like, we have seen Mariah May do some good stuff. I'm hoping I think Jordynne Grace can pull it out of her, but we shall see. We have the tag team championships on the line. The champions, Hank and Tank versus Dark State, either Dion, Osiris, Saquon, or Cutler. Do we see Dark State taking these?
I think so. Yeah. I think you've got to, like, if you're going to try and make these guys, I think it makes sense to have them. As you said, they could always freebird it as well, which makes it a bit more interesting.
Oh, Cutler's going to make some freebird joke, right? Yeah. Something like that. Oh, the freebird rule? Yeah, exactly. I think they should take them from, Hank and Tank have definitely stepped up and improved and had some fun with it. But still, I don't know. Where would you go with Hank
the right
and Tank?
Two as well? It could be a fun match. Like, I did enjoy that 8-man last week. So I think with the right two from Dark State, it could be pretty fun.
I just don't know what you would do with Hank and Tank after this. Do they just float around main
comedy
roster? Like
stuff, split them up, feud.
Oh no, I don't know, but I kind of see Dark State taking it. It would maybe make sense and help make these guys. I'm still not sold on them. Their gimmick is weird. So JC, so we're both saying Dark State. We have the triple threat TNA Knockouts World Title: JC Jane, Masha Slamovich, and Ash by Elegance. So JC Jane retaining here. I don't know. NXT show. JC2 belt.
I think Masha with this one.
Okay.
And whether you have something with Fatal Influence costing JC to further that story, and then because she's still got the NXT Championship. So I think JC could afford to drop this. And it would feel a big deal it being on an NXT show. So I'm going to go with Masha for that one.
They could have made this WrestleMania 2000? No, yeah. What was it? The triple threat Iron Man? Or no?
Jericho Benoit angle.
Where it's like the two titles each fall?
2 out of 3 falls, yeah. Well, the two falls title.
And then
match.
He lost both titles, right? That could have.
And didn't get pinned in either one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That, no. I think you could see something that furthers the fracturing of Fatal Influence, and maybe even we can then build to Fallon and JC match down the line.
I would like to go to Fallon versus JC. I think that would be great. Maybe Laney helps JC retain.
Yep.
Like Fatal Influence kind of fumble, and then Laney swoops in to be like, "Hey, look, like I'm on your side," kind of thing. So maybe, I don't know, but I see JC retaining, but it would make sense if you're having Santana win that belt back at Bound for Glory, then maybe Masha getting it back before then would make sense too. But I don't know. They haven't done enough on it. I'm familiar with Masha Slamovich. Like we've seen her in a bunch of indie stuff and Bloodsport and all that. She's great, but I feel like NXT didn't do a great job in the little weeks of having her on TV.
I don't know what her character is. I don't know who Masha Slamovich is.
I feel like they've
this show compared to like a Mike Santana who came in and cut a passionate promo, or Joe Hendry with the just the viral stuff. Masha's just, if you don't watch TNA or not aware of her indie work,
you wouldn't know who she is.
She's just some girl who has shown up and wants the title.
And like certain wrestling shows or wrestling fans are always like, "Oh, who is this person? Who? What, like?" But they try to explain the story of the situation. I felt like NXT has not done that at all with Masha.
Really haven't.
They've done it with other characters. Don't get me wrong. Like you said, Santana and everything. But like, if you don't know who this is, you don't know. Who
she could be a Kendall Gray.
She's literally just walking around, and she was the ref.
Someone with a name tag.
And then now she's in a match on Sunday. Like, she's good, so hopefully the match is good, but it's kind of like, oh wait, who is that? Oh, okay, I guess. We have another triple threat: Jada Parker, Kalani Jordan, Lola Vice, triple threat for the #1 contendership. We mentioned earlier Lash might get involved, but who do you see kind of depends on, I guess, if JC's. Well, JC is obviously the champ, but which one of these? Lola, Kalani, both baby faces. Jada, kind of a baby face, right? Tweener.
I think Kalani is what my I'm going with Kalani for this one.
Okay. All right.
I think this could be a really good match, these three.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm going to go with Jada Parker.
All right.
I don't know. We'll see. Chelsea Green, Ethan Page versus Tyra May Steele and Tavion Heights in a mixed tag match. I think I would have preferred this on Tuesday next week, but I digress.
Yeah, I think Team USA wins this one. I can't see them having Tyra May Steele losing her.
Sorry, Team Canada, you mean?
No, I think Team USA win this one.
You think Tavion and Tyra win this?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. And then Tavion gets a shot at the title and loses is where I would go.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So they'll have Tyra beat Chelsea for this.
Tap her out, make her cry, all that stuff. Yeah. Hopefully a great Canadian entrance though. And then the main event, Obafemi, Javon Evans, NXT title. We were kind of discussing in depth there of like, we love Javon and we think that this guy could be not only a big time player here in NXT, that he's frankly he's been my favorite guy to watch on this show every week. And I think as soon as main roster people, you said on Raw, when they cut to him in the crowd, people cheering for him and knowing who he was, I think once your regular Monday Night Raw, SmackDown viewers get a shot of this guy doing that red dot kick and flippy, bouncy stuff, like they're going to be like all over this guy. So I want him to be NXT champion. I'm not really loving this Obafemi run. I think it would be a lot more interesting and electric if Javon were to take the title. I just don't think it's going to happen just yet. Just yet. Maybe we go back to this match at another PLE to get like that one final, like, you can't beat me, essentially. Like Oba continuously putting him down, and then finally we get that big moment, like where maybe you're right. Oba needs to heal it up before you can give it to Javon. But either way, I think this is going to be the show stealer and the real draw for this Heatwave show for me now on Sunday.
I think that's better storytelling for sure. But I've got a gut feeling they're just going to pull the trigger with Javon.
I'd be very excited. I'd be very happy. Again, this guy's super young, 21 years old. It could be his time. Ever since coming to NXT, like he's a show stealer. So I'm kind of in his corner for that. I would like to see that. And then Oba, like, he'll be fine. You could go back to, he could go to the main roster. He could continue doing some stuff down here, but we'll see. There you go. That's our Heatwave predictions for us. Again, we'll be live this Sunday right here at Post Wrestling on the YouTube. Right after Heatwave, we'll go through the whole show, give our thoughts. We'll also talk about some Forbidden Door. It's going to be a long day of wrestling, but we're all sickos. So we know we know what we're in for. We're ready. We could take this. We could take on the world. There you go. That was NXT. Do we have any feedback?
I think so. Yes. One piece from Magan, who says a solid go home elevated by the main event. Trick and Javon lit the place up. The table spot had me hooting and hollering. Javon's selling was on point, and it had clever use of Santana to throw Trick off his game. The right guy went over, and I am content. Briggs, Inamura was a wild street fight. The superplex on the barricade was nasty. Cutler James is sus as fuck. Get Dark State off my TV.
Doesn't like Dark State. Why not, Megan?
I don't know if he's sus. He's just
his jokes are, I guess.
Yeah. Well, they're not jokes. That's the thing. It's more. I said it's more Tobias Bluth.
What if he's literally like, no. When I say everyone gets behind Dark State, I really mean that. It's like, oh, what? Okay, yeah, but it's gonna win them gold on Sunday. So there you go. Dick jokes and butt jokes, they'll get you far in life. Trust me.
Yeah.
We made a career out of it. So there you go. NXT Heatwave. I hope you guys are enjoying the wrestling this Sunday. Have fun. And again, catch us live. Whether you're watching Forbidden Door, Heatwave, both of them, We will be live right after, of course, audio available, replay available, and all that stuff. And you want to hear more, our Forbidden Door preview, we did exactly what we did here today, but talking all about some AEWs and everything on Poisonrana Live. We just went on live on Sunday. The audio is on our free feed. So Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, Apple, whatever it is you use, YouTube, whatever, search Poisonrana Podcast, give us a follow, and check out all the other shows and more shows, more content at patreon.com/poisonrana. $5 to get access to hundreds of different shows and many more shows. The Champ is Here series continuing and so much more. And we appreciate all the NXT friends, postmarks, and Poison pals, wherever you are. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That is it. That is all. Take care. Goodbye and be safe.
Ahoy!